Hello, and welcome to Entertainment of Excellence, the podcast where we talk about films, TV, all of it. Hi, I'm not Ollie.
And I'm Thom.
And I am Ben. And this episode, we're going to be talking about the 2013 film Her. This will contain spoilers.
Yeah, that sounds good.
So, as you might have guessed, Ollie isn't here today, which is quite sad. But
It's sad. A bit
we're
like this
gonna-
film.
Ooh,
It's all connected. It's all connected.
Spoilers. Damn.
Ollie's
We
actually
might-
become an AI. So
Ollie left.
he abandoned us because he ascended to a higher consciousness. So
Yeah.
that is where Ollie is at the moment. We're hoping he'll be back next time.
We might be able to encourage him to record a recommendation remotely, but we might not, so guess you'll have to hang on till the end of the episode to find out.
Oh, good one. Get that watch time. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll summarize the film. Basically, it's in the near future, where an operating system is released that is run by like an AI. So each one is an individual AI, and this very sad, lonely, going through a divorce man befriends and then has a romantic relationship with the AI. But the AI gets much more intelligent. And in like the scene I remember, he's like, "How many people are you talking to right now?" And it's like, 8,342. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
bruh. And then it's like, are you in love with anyone else? It's like, yeah. How many? 681.
I thought you were mine.
And then the AIs get too intelligent and then like ascend. Don't they say like?
Yeah.
And that's kind of the ending. I think they say like I remember at one
way
point they're
of-
moving their processing away from matter.
Yeah. It's kind of left open-ended, but I think the idea is that they've ascended or past the physical plane or something, and Samantha's just like, if you ever get there, then come find me. So maybe
Yeah. So if you
Yeah.
manage to ascend beyond the physical plane, have a look.
I hope we can ascend so we can find Ollie again. Next episode of Entertainment of Excellence brought to you from heaven.
So because we've just gone through the plot, it makes me instantly want to talk about the end, but we can't do that without we'll just explain one of the main like relationships within the film, which is between Theodore, the main character, and Amy, who is played by Amy Adams. And basically Theodore's going through a divorce, and then Amy splits up with is it her husband? I can't remember. Are they married? Yeah.
Her husband of 8 years.
Oh, damn. And then they split up, so they kind of bond over that, and she starts befriending an OS rather than it being like a romantic relationship, but they've been friends for a long time. So you kind of see them working through it together, and I think because she left because she realised she needed something more out of life, which I think Theodore ended up making her realise when he said about how Samantha, the operating system he's in love with, kind of allows him to see the world in a new way. But okay, this brings us to the end, where when the AI all leave, there's a scene with those two on the roof, and I was really, really worried that they were going to have them kiss at the end.
Same. I'm
But then
so happy
they didn't,
happen.
and I was like, yes, because it makes it like they even have a line where it's like, no, we tried dating once years ago and we just weren't right for each other. It's like, yeah, you can just be friends with people.
Yeah, like, my heart was almost racing there. I was like, please don't turn this into like a kiss scene.
Yeah.
Like, and thankfully they didn't. They just kind of like vibed on the roof together and were just like,
yeah, because I think
bonded over the shared
bit,
loss of OSs.
But I think it was also about, that section was about like learning to share human experience, and that kind of learning that AI were just too different, or like, because they were, you know, thinking on an entirely different level. Like there was that scene that I loved where Samantha says like, it's like having a conversation was an eternity, and there's words and then just ever expanding spaces between them, and it like it takes ages to have a conversation because of how fast the processing is, and that's like why she talks to so many people. And I thought it was an interesting way of where neither of them were really shown to be in the wrong. Like there were bits where both of them made like mistakes, but in the end it was just they weren't right for each other, you know, which sounds cheesy, but it's like learning to accept that. It was almost like going through the divorce he'd already been through, which kind of had the depressing thing of, if you meet people and change them, then they start to be less right for you because they've changed. I can't tell if that was a theme, but that felt like one, and I was like, whoa.
I'm pretty sure that the central theme of the film was pretty much like, you know, you can love someone, but they might not be the right person for you. So obviously, in like with Theodore's relationships, he's had 3 that we know of. Which is like Amy, who he dated back in college or whatever, but that wasn't right, and they just decided to remain friends. So I guess that's kind of the good way that you could come out of that. And then obviously the bad way is, you know, his wife, where they changed and they sort of grew apart, and like they ended up on bad terms. And there's like a scene where he's talking to Samantha earlier in the film, and he's like, I just wish we could still be friends. I dream of us still being friends, but which is kind of to do with his like character flaw of he's a bit indecisive and kind of causes pain to others that way. And then there's also like Samantha, who like is seemingly just perfect for him, apart from the fact she doesn't have a body. Then there's that weird scene where there's a surrogate sexual partner, which I'm sure we could get into later.
I don't think that was even a problem, though. He said that, you know, that wasn't actually a problem. It was more of a problem for Samantha, like thinking your way into a problem with yourself.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting that, the ending of that is like more of one of the more neutral endings of a relationship, I assume is what you're going for. Oh, that's what I would say.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I hadn't thought about it.
Neutral.
But yeah, I think that's an interesting way of looking at it. But I also went into this film expecting like either person who falls in love with a computer is very creepy and weird, or computer becomes evil and does bad thing. But neither of those happened, because it actually was like it was like quite a common thing that people were falling in love with AI, which I think would happen if they like well one thing, they were designed at first to help you, so they were always going to interact with you amicably in the start. But then you get things like it was mentioned that someone like asked out an OS that didn't like them back, and someone was dating someone else's OS, and it was interesting that happened all so fast, and that it was very common, which meant it wasn't as much like he was creepy and weird. And then also the AI weren't evil, they just kind of left, and in the end it was actually much more of like a compassionate, grounded view of relationships, which I thought was interesting. You still get the sci-fi weirdness. You still get all you naughty people wanting to know, but how did they do the sex? You get to find out, you dirty people.
Creepy pervert. Yeah, well, I was kind of surprised how, I mean, when I say like how little sci-fi there was in it, that's not to downplay the fact that the whole story is kind of hinged on this sci-fi premise, but the majority of the writing's like purely about different relationships, and it was definitely much more of a romance movie than I thought, and I had gone into it expecting it would be like a sort of romance movie. But
Yeah.
I don't think that's a bad thing. That's just like stylistically it ended up being a bit
I
different
think it was
to what
better
I
than
thought.
what I was expecting because of that.
Yeah, it didn't like tread over ground that had already been done millions of times before.
Yeah, and it was interesting of starting out depressing and then getting happier and then kind of ending in melancholy of where like this new being allowed him to see the world in like a new way again, which it was like Pop Squad kind of mentioned that in Love, Death and Robots, but that was more about having kids. And it was interesting that it showed like all the good things, but then also it still brought in questions of like, should you feel bad about some of the people you choose to date? Like when, is she called Catherine, his ex-wife?
Yeah.
When she said like, you never wanted any challenge in a relationship. And then obviously like, ooh, at first, but then you're like, well, that does feel like how it is with them anyway at the moment. Like there's no challenges, but also, is that a bad thing? But it was kind of like trying to figure out if the AI was really like a consciousness, because at first it does feel more like it's just, it's almost like manipulating them, but then they get much more intelligent and then almost flip the manipulation on to him. But it's not, when I say manipulate, it's not like a malicious thing, it's just easy. And it's kind of like, is that right?
Yeah.
On a lighter topic, I thought that the presentation they had of futuristic video games was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
I was like, this is actually what it's like.
Realise.
They're not just all shooting people and stuff like out of touch films will do.
Yeah. I didn't realise until I looked up the film afterwards that the alien boy character was voiced by Spike Jonze.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, and then I looked at the IMDb trivia, and it was like he enjoyed playing that role so much that he'd send like notes to the producers and editors like in character as the alien boy.
Oh yeah, that's why he'd do that. It wasn't just an excuse
in character.
to be. I knew I recognised the voice, but I didn't realise it was Scarlett Johansson until I checked. And then I wished I hadn't checked.
Yeah. Well, apparently, here's another bit of trivia that I read.
Oh, Kristen Wiig is the person that he emailed at the start. When they have that weird, like, audio, you match up with someone else that's lonely in bed. That was weird.
Strangle me with the dead cat. Oh gosh,
this film is quite funny at points.
I
mean, it is by the director of Being John Malkovich, so
yeah. Oh man, what else? What was I gonna say? Yeah. It was originally someone else who voiced Samantha. The way they filmed it was, I've forgotten her name now, but the other person who was voicing Samantha was actually on set with Joaquin Phoenix.
Oh, the other person that was supposed to.
Yeah, so like it wasn't. So that's how they recorded the lines. The other person was on set, so like Joaquin Phoenix could actually react to it. But then when editing the films, Spike Jonze was just like, something doesn't feel right. So then they just recast and got Scarlett Johansson to record all
Samantha
the lines.
Morton. She was actually called Samantha.
Damn. And Amy was actually called Amy.
Oh yeah, Samantha Morton. She's
whack.
I recognise her. Is she in? Is she Clarice in Silence of the Lambs? No. Have I made that up?
No.
It looks like
Jodie
person.
Foster.
It looks like Jodie Foster a lot.
It is just Jodie Foster under a different name or something.
I mean, maybe. Joaquin.
Joaquin, more like.
Whoa.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Joaquin Phoenix.
I didn't recognise it was Joaquin Phoenix at first, but then I did
knew
that
it was him
awful
just
thing.
As a precursor thing.
Yeah.
Chris Pratt, I wasn't expecting.
I didn't notice it was Chris Pratt to begin with, but then like when
his voice gave it away.
Well, there was that scene where like where Theodore ends up writing a letter like after he's met Samantha, he's a bit more into it now, and then just Chris Pratt's behind him, and he's just like, "That's beautiful, man. You're like both a boy and a girl."
You have a woman inside you.
Theodore wishes.
I've just been reminded of one of the funny scenes from the crazy credits section is the person that was credited for the armpit sex drawing. Which was actually supposed to be more of like viewing the world through a different lens again, where it's like, why are humans this way? Like, why don't you just have an anus in your armpit?
I mean, that makes sense, but also it's funny, so shut up.
Exactly. I thought it was an interesting use of colours. There was quite a lot of colour in it, wasn't there?
Yeah, it seemed to be mainly like shades of red, orange, yellow.
Yeah, almost like a 70s vibe.
It's quite. It was very different to say Blade Runner, where it's a lot of like blues, purples, and sort of bright neon colors. It's the same sort of with lots of sci-fi. It's like that. It kind of went for that more like natural, I guess, typical romantic movie color palette.
I guess think it was different. The colors were like way more just prominent. I don't know if that makes sense, but I don't know how to explain it. It was very obvious that it was using those colors.
Not quite as obvious as the Incredible Hulk being tinted green.
What an amazing choice.
Yeah. Well, in this movie, it actually was an amazing choice.
That's true. And there was a lot of... I swear there was a shot that I wanted to remember because I was like, that looks really good. And I just forgot it. That's really sad.
I kind of like how the OS, like those little phone things, they don't really look that dated, given this was 2013. Like, you know... I mean, it doesn't look like familiar or like anything you'd think would be the natural progression of stuff we've got now, but it doesn't...
Yeah, it could just be there.
It doesn't look like dated or like badly aged or anything. It's just like a screen, a camera, a little case.
I wonder if the like
that.
earbuds will look the same in a few years'
I
time.
mean, that's kind of just AirPods.
Oh, so apparently the lead female roles were actually intentionally named after their actresses. Like Amy is Amy Adams, and Samantha was named after Samantha Morton. But they just, because Scarlett Johansson was cast quite late on, they just kept the name.
Yeah. I feel like Samantha works better than Scarlett.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Luckily Morton did. It was with Morton's blessing that she was recast, so that's okay.
Yeah. Oh,
What?
I think I've just worked out why Samantha sounds better than Scarlett.
Why?
Because, like, one of the most popular sex dolls on the internet is called Samantha.
Not gonna question how you know this.
Well, Sweeney,
Ben,
we have a
you
song.
bought this? Have you bought this for your operating system that you're dating? Because they're insecure about not having a body.
No,
Ben,
promise.
have you got a beauty spot shaped camera?
No. Other than completely unrelated note, please don't come into my wardrobe.
Oh no. That scene was so awful. Oh no.
Oh,
and then
the
woman left and it was like crying and saying,
it would have been one thing if it was just Samantha being a bit upset because Theodore felt weird, but it really clearly upset the middle woman, so to speak.
Yeah.
She was like, I really wanted to be
like,
part
I'll
of
always
this
love you
perfect,
too.
pure relationship. Oh. I feel like...
Interestingly, go on.
I was about to say, I feel like any just normal person would find that weird, though. Nothing particular.
It's the future. Interestingly, I think the friendship between Theodore and Amy works well because Spike Jonze would essentially lock Amy Adams and Joaquin Phoenix in a room together for an hour or two every other day and make them talk to each other.
Yeah, I saw that. That's pretty cool.
Apparently they are close friends now.
Damn, big up Spike Jonze, the friendship matcher.
All you have to do is lock people in a room and then they'll become best friends.
I'll lock you in a room with my sex doll. See if you two can work something out.
I need to stop just reading the IMDb trivia page because I'm like, oh, this is interesting.
Entertainment of Excellence, reading IMDb trivia since 2018.
Yeah, but Amy Adams would sing songs from famous musicals in the emotional scenes to cheer herself up. Then Joaquin Phoenix joined in and they sang together, but they stopped when they saw that Spike Jonze was filming them.
I feel like I would.
I'm just imagining Spike Jonze standing in a corner with a camera, just heavily breathing And we're like, yeah, we're not gonna do that anymore. The guy that keeps locking us in a room for hours every day is just filming us.
Yeah, Spike.
Spike. What I liked about this film is that it's a modern mid-budget film, and you don't get many of them anymore.
What was the budget?
It says it's $23 million. It was actually quite a lot. I think that's because they hired very big name actors.
Yeah, I was about to say, my go-to comparison is Upgrade now, given I knew that
That's
was
a bit
5
low.
million.
No, that's quite low budget. I think that's not like mid-range.
Yeah, I know, but that's an example of like budget used really, really well.
Yeah,
There was nowhere near enough special effects in this, so it must have, like, as you said, been mainly to get the high name actors, which worked quite well.
yeah, they were all really
think-
good.
Especially Spike Jonze as Alien Boy. Wonder how much Spike Jonze paid
I
him.
thought you were actually going to be serious, and I was like, yeah, Joaquin Phoenix was really good. You're like, nope.
I mean, I am serious as well. I do think Joaquin
Yeah.
Phoenix did a really good performance.
I thought you saying I am being serious. It was a great Alien Boy thing, but
it was great though. He really nailed the nuances of that character.
exactly.
You know.
Our upgrade was 5 million, so a quarter the price. Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense because that's like they don't really have any big name ones. They've got that Tom Hardy clone, but
Yeah, Upgrade was mainly just used on the special effects, I think.
yeah. But all the technology in this looks good, you know.
Yeah, it's not dated in the slightest. It is still believable that this could happen in the future.
Indeed.
It'll only be dated when OSs really become real.
Windows is real, Ben.
Oh no. Windows gonna leave me. Better not. I'll have to go to Mac then.
No, Mac will create
Linux.
Albert Einstein from the dead. That was a wacky thing they did. They just that was strange.
Yeah.
So,
I
yeah,
mean-
we'll just bring someone back from the dead. Yeah, whatever.
I thought because there was this little bit where, okay, first off, I'm just gonna say I found it kind of weird but also wholesome how like quickly Chris Pratt accepted that Samantha was an OS. It's
Yeah.
just like, yeah, sure.
It's just like cool. I thought he
Based-
misheard him, but they were genuinely just vibing at that on the double date.
Yeah, based. But they were talking when they were on the double date about like Samantha went on this weird rant about like, oh, how like she transcends the human form and how like mortal bodies and they're gonna die and whatever. But I thought it was gonna go in a different direction then and be like Theodore kind of doubting what would happen after he dies and whether they'd like resurrect him as well, and
Oh,
you know how he'd feel about like Samantha dating a AI resurrected version of him. But
damn.
I like what they did with it. That's just that's just how I thought it was gonna go.
They do really good of having like awkward and realistic scenes. Like when he goes on that date with someone, all I remember is that he calls her a tiger.
Oh
And
yeah.
then at the end, she's like, is this actually going to be a thing, or are you just going to have sex and then leave me? And you can tell because he's conflicted, because he obviously likes Samantha but doesn't want to admit it. But also he does actually have his goddaughter's birthday on that next weekend, when he's like, I've got my goddaughter's birthday next weekend, but afterwards maybe. And it's like, oh
Yeah.
but he
Well,
does.
I don't think he just said maybe though. I think
No, he
the
didn't
thing
say
was, like,
maybe. He said after that, sure, or something. But you can also
But then there's-
definitely see how that's trying to dodge. So it was just all like, oh.
That was hard to watch because they obviously hit it off and
Yeah.
worked quite well together. But then he's just like, do you think he's gonna go back to Tiger Lady after Samantha's left?
I don't know if she'll let him. She seemed quite annoyed.
But he'll be her dragon.
Oh yeah, that's what she said. Do you think he's a dragon?
Nah, he's not even a puppy. He's more of a snail. Because he hides in his shell from his responsibilities.
Oh, does
that was good. No, probably not.
He signed the papers at the
He hides from his emotions. Oh, there you go.
Yes, I'll take that. Although he does start to become more accepting, at least.
Yeah, that's when he comes out of his shell.
Ah, of course. Wait, can snails leave their shells?
No, they
maybe
die.
He's more. Maybe he's more of a hermit crab.
Yeah.
There we go. I'm glad
Theodore,
we can agree.
the hermit crab Twombly.
I forgot his surname was Twombly.
I saw that
Twombly.
before we watched it, and I was just like, the description was like, Theodore Twombly, lonely man. I'm just like, bro, what one actual name?
Theodore Twombly. So lonely though. Do you
Theodore
remember?
Twombly can just not have a have a mustache.
Like, he is so lonely and creepy at first. Yeah. Like when he's getting the news thing, and then he just keeps skipping all the articles, and then one of them's like, this TV star has released provocative pregnant photos, and then he just like slowly in the middle of a really crowded train like pulls out his little device and starts looking. Oh.
Yeah. That was a bit ooh.
And then fantasize about them with the dead cat strangling lady. Oh,
I
Brian
mean, again,
Cox played the resurrected dead guy. Go on.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I forgot what I was going to say now. Oh, no, yeah. That whole idea of the chat rooms for lonely people. Not that I'd know this, but I feel like it probably is a thing that exists.
I don't know if
currently.
It is now, but I could see it happening as it became less taboo.
Yeah, I mean, there's been stuff like Omegle and stuff, but like I get the idea specifically of a sexual one rather than just like, haha, it's a stranger. Yeah. But yeah, I guess it would be a much more convenient way to hook up. It probably exists now after
no
COVID.
Diseases, no
COVIDs, no STIs, no pregnancies, just phone sex.
Yum.
Yeah,
I was surprised that girl, the surrogate middle woman, wasn't a prostitute. When he's like, "You mean a prostitute?" and then Samantha's like, "No." It's like, what? What do you mean no? Who is this?
Well, I mean, Samantha's like an all-intelligent AI. She probably has the ability to search like every single depraved corner of the internet for this one person who just desperately wants to be in the middle of a AI person relationship.
It's crazy. Imagine what would have happened if you picked the male voice.
Him.
But I don't think he's like gay though, is he? So that's an interesting. Okay, so does it depend on the voice? Do you think? How does that work? Oh no, this is breaking down like into.
What you mean? Would he have fallen in love? Would he have fallen in love with a male robot?
Yeah, but if it was like the same, like if the voices are different, does that mean that they have a different personality because they like pick their own names?
Probably.
And it's like,
I don't know.
that's wacky.
Maybe the idea is just kind of like, like a human is kind of like assigned a gender at birth, but like every human grows up differently beyond that. So maybe it's the same with
True.
these AIs. You pick the voice, but that doesn't determine the personality.
So can you have like trans OSs? but genuinely,
yeah, maybe. Who knows?
how does that work? Oh, this is messing with my head. Because like the fact because he's like fallen in love with a disembodied person, but it's still like obviously female because of the voice. So is it like a weird
having sex, and he's like, I'll kiss your breasts and everything.
Stop. But like that means you have to find like the voice attractive, but also it is just the personality. So it's like, whoa. It's like that bit with Chris Pratt on the double date where it's like, it's almost more comforting that to have someone love you just even when you don't actually have a body.
Yeah.
And it's like, damn.
Yeah, but then there's that whole thing of she's actually talking to like 800 other side hoes.
Also, so they can feel like sexual attraction. How does that work?
Yeah. Who knows? That's the thing. Like, okay, I feel like we just need to go into this. Like, when he starts, like, inverted commas, having sex with her, how is she feeling pleasure? Is it she's imagining what it would feel like?
I think it's more, she's doing it more as like a demonstration of affection.
Yeah.
It's like because it makes Theodore happy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Rather than she's actually feeling like pleasure and actually.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's kind of wacky. That's crazy.
Can sex bots feel pleasure? Damn.
Leave your thoughts.
No,
in the
one I
comments
definitely
below.
don't have.
Leave your thoughts in the comments below.
If you have a sex bot and want to be on our next podcast to talk about this,
no, Ben, I am not having anyone on that owns. No. Nope.
Not even Lewis.
Oh, we'll have Lewis on.
Lewis, DM us on Instagram.
Is this Lewis our biggest fan, or is this Lewis from Kangaroo Jack?
Why not both?
Yes.
Oh man. Right. Well, is there anything else we should talk about? Oh, the music. I really
liked the music as well.
Yeah, that it was really cool. It was by Arcade Fire. Which I didn't realize until the end.
I didn't know that. I've listened to some of their stuff.
Yeah. Well, I might have a recommendation that's related to that coming soon. Oh.
Ooh.
What else was there? I feel like there was one more thing I wanted to talk about.
The music always felt very fitting, and even when it wasn't the original music, all those song choices were good. And the idea of like Samantha expressing herself through songs was really cool. Like you could
I really
write
liked
songs.
That. The way that she was like, I don't have a photo of us, but I'm gonna write a piano piece to sort of capture this moment. That was really nice. Also, Scarlett Johansson's a really nice singer. Just gonna put that out there.
That was good.
I
Didn't
didn't
she
know
sing in
could
Marriage
sing.
Story as well?
Oh, she might have actually. To be honest,
sure
I can't
there's
really
at least
remember
two
much of
singing
Marriage
scenes.
Story.
I remember Adam Driver has his like depressing karaoke one.
Oh no.
But I'm sure she sings something as... Oh, well, she has a karaoke, which is a lot happier, but I think she sings something else. I can't remember.
Right, well. So, it's ratings time. Yeah.
Is it? No. I don't want to. Can I not rate it? It's too much pressure.
Wait. Well, you can, like, not rate it, but that does just give me a monopoly on the score.
Oh, that's true. I can't
What
be
if,
having that.
what if I think it's really bad?
What if you think it's really good and I think it's really bad?
Exactly.
Who's going to rate it first?
Personally, I think it's comparable to Freddy Got Fingered. Oh my god, I forgot how low that was. 0.3. Looking back at that, I think that's generous. Oh no.
Because it's funny because apparently Tom Green's actually done some good stuff.
Oh, my glasses fell off.
It's like he's actually done some good things apparently, but Freddy Got Fingered is genuinely so bad.
I'm gonna make a graph at some point showing the distribution of the scores. Which could be like 777766543 0.3. Oh man. So, well, I guess a similar movie to compare it to could be Marriage Story, because both are about like relationships not working
with
out.
Scarlett Johansson.
Exactly. I preferred this to Marriage Story.
Same. I can't tell if it's just like a sci-fi thing or
If it's,
I think, but
I don't know if it's just because it's less depressing.
it is less depressing and it also has a lot more just about the general like human condition and existence and stuff. It's a lot more existential.
Yeah. I think. Oh, hang on. Let's see what I've rated these boys. Did I rate? It is a sin. 0.2. Oh. I think I'm going to go into the 8s.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to go 8.2 because I really liked it, but I think I prefer being John Malkovich just. So.
Yeah, I'm putting 8.2 as well because I prefer Blade Runner.
Yeah.
Which, now I feel like I rated Blade Runner a bit low.
Did you rate Blade Runner? 8.3?
I feel like maybe I should have bumped that up a bit. Oh well.
I mean, to be fair, we did just rewatch it recently, so kind of fresh
That's
perspectives.
True. And also, after, I think the first time I rated it. Wait, is that a new rating that Blade Runner one when we re-rated everything?
Yeah,
I think
because
I rated that
originally we just unanimously put 8.5.
Yeah, I think that was like the second time I watched it, whereas now I've seen it like 5 times. I've seen Blade Runner a lot.
I've only seen it 3 times. You
SMH.
can't. Well, you can't overwatch a masterpiece, or else it stops being a masterpiece.
Damn.
Or at least in my opinion. Right. Well, we have a submission spotlight section, which no one ever submits anything for. So if you want to submit something, let's just like keep going with the podcast and then actually get popular and get like thousands of subscribers and stuff. But like no one still no one sends in any stuff.
2
Gets
million
like a
subscribers
million.
and no submissions.
Tom. Well, so if you're a creator of any kind of media that's appropriate, send it in, please.
Please.
We might even accept armpit buttholes. If
you could
wanna
submit Ollie as a submission spotlight, that would be really helpful.
just submit Ollie's consciousness.
Yeah, and then we could get him
We'll
back
review him.
for the next episode.
We'll give him some constructive criticism. I think he should be here.
Yeah, that is the big downside. Pros, top notch at doing the intro. We had to try about 5 times. Ollie bashes it out straight away.
Yeah, pros. His distorted voice is iconic at this point. If you couldn't,
Hello, welcome to the Editorial Excellence podcast.
if you couldn't tell already, we've actually started doing it a bit of a different way, where each of us is recording audio individually, so it's a lot cleaner. But when Ollie comes back, I'm just gonna distort his voice for the iconic EV
Sound.
Hello, and welcome to Entertainment of Excellence, the podcast where we talk about films, TV, all of it. Hi, I'm Ollie.
You know,
It is. Who can forget?
none of us. Well,
No one.
No one. Not even us. I was going to say something clever there, and I just
By
forgot.
Jordan Peele. Got him. There we go. I saved it.
Ooh. Damn. Isn't that guy who made that film? I don't know
Us.
what it's called.
Called Us.
I mean, I was going Candyman. Was that Jordan Peele?
No. He was like an executive producer or something on it, but they were like, this is a Jordan Peele film, and it wasn't.
Yeah. Before we like move on, like, I kind of on that topic actually. Like, I noticed that this was both written and directed by Spike Jonze.
Yeah, which he's never done before, I don't think. I had a look.
Yeah, because he directed the Kaufman run, being John Malkovich.
Yeah. And adaptation.
And adaptation.
He's barely done any films. I think he's done like 4.
Is that 4? Damn.
Yeah, because
I mean, I know
I had
he's
a look
done-
through his directions, and it's just like so many music videos.
Yeah, I was gonna say I knew he did a lot of music videos because
Yeah, like this.
some for some.
This was his most recent film, and it's 8 years old.
Damn.
And then-
Spike, please release another film just for us to do. Submit it on the submission spotlight.
Yes, he'll probably just end up submitting Where the Wild Things Are. Can't be bothered, Spike. I'm not watching that. I watched it when I was a kid, and I didn't like it.
Mhm.
He's done genuinely
Right.
so many music videos, it's ridiculous. Yeah, he's
How
done
many
4
has he done?
films, I think. He did Being John Malkovich, Adaptation, Where the Wild Things Are, and Her. Come on,
Damn.
bro. Come on, Spike.
Just churn it out.
Oh, it's because he was too busy starring in the 1999 film Three Kings. Well, not starring, but acting.
I thought you were gonna say too busy starring as Alien Boy in Her.
Well,
Legend
that
says
as well.
He's still to this day in character.
It was proper method acting. He spent years of his life perfecting the role, and also years after the film was released.
Yeah. Right, well, I have a recommendation because the music was done by Arcade Fire. I kind of just realized, oh, I've heard of them a lot, but I've never actually listened to any of their music. So I had a quick listen to their 2017 album Everything Now, which is a good album, You should go listen to it. It's kind of like it's sort of mainly like indie rock, but it's got some crossovers with like I guess some 70s pop and there's a bit of disco in there. I noticed a couple of songs were produced by Thomas Bangalter from Daft Punk, so that kind of explains the disco influence. But yeah, it's a good album. You should go listen to it. I will report back if I listen to any of their other albums.
I have a couple of recommendations because one of them felt a bit too mainstream. Because I watched Squid Game and I thought,
oh yeah,
that was good.
It was good.
The end. I think it peaked in episode 6 and then got worse. Like, oh no. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
The VIPs, bruh.
69 is such a beautiful number.
And their voices were so bad. I hated
part
it.
of me thinks that might have been the fact it was written in Korean and they were trying to do English characters and it didn't really translate very well.
I think it was the direction was just very strange. Like
everything about the VIPs just seemed weird.
Yeah, that was weird. And the ending was a bit strange. Although it wasn't as bad as I'd heard. I thought the ending was okay.
There was also...
the fact there's probably going to be season 2 is annoying.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't need to have a season 2. It's good on its own. Please just don't ruin it.
I think in terms of thematic quality, it's better than Alice in Borderland. But in terms of thrilling, weird game dystopia, Alice in Borderland is more fun. So...
yeah.
Watch that. I think I've recommended it before. But anyway, my other recommendation is, don't ask me why I randomly decided to watch it, but I only found out it's technically the first season of a series called American Crime Story, made by the people that did American Horror Story, called The People v. O.J. Simpson. And that's like, I think it's 10 episode. Almost all of it's a courtroom drama, but it's so good, all based on real events, and you can like see the scenes side by side with the stuff that was actually broadcast on TV. And even though, like, I think it's fairly slow paced because it's all just one trial, it's all one case, but it's all the tension is always high. There's so many twists and turns. The acting is impeccable. It's just really great drama, and kind of. I think it displays the view that OJ definitely did it, but without obviously saying that.
Groovy. Yeah. So, maybe Ollie will have a recommendation and we'll insert it awkwardly here. Thank you, Ollie. That was very interesting.
Thanks for that recommendation, Ollie, if there was one.
I should have had my finger on like a MIDI pad or something and just like programmed the years. Just every so often hit one, like in episode 2. So we just got like...
That would be an amazing callback.
14-year-old Ollie going like, yeah, I agree. In other news, listen to Mood Organ's song Affirmation.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait, hang on. I don't think we've actually properly recommended our own EP yet. I think we just did Brain Tourist.
I thought we had it as a submission spotlight.
Did we? I think no, that was just Brain Tourist.
Oh. Go listen to the EP, Slight Seeing.
So we have a submission spotlight this episode. It is our own EP, Slight Seeing by Mood Organ, which is us and Ev, who is a singer. It has 5 cheeky songs, and they're all like influenced by like prog rock, psychedelic rock, and some synth stuff and stuff like that. It's wacky and cool. constructive criticism, it's not very good.
I can give no criticism. It is a masterpiece.
If you are interested, you can go on to moodorgan.bandcamp.com and snag the last singular copy of the CD. Because
if you're a true
I think
fan.
we've only got... Yeah, we have a...
Is it signed as well?
bonus track. It might be signed by all 4 members of Mood Organ, who
All
now I think
4
have...
Mood Organ boys, as they like to be called.
Sweaty boys play music in the lounge.
Ben, is that one of the dodgy websites that's in her?
No, definitely not. Right, well,
Yeah.
thank you for listening.
Thanks for listening.
you
In
listened.
conclusion, this film is better than Howard the Duck. All right, see ya.
Or I'll see you.
Yeah, that sounds good.